Hello everybody. Hope everybody's doing all right tonight. Fix my camera. So, I've had some little ones that are not agreeing to go to bed tonight. So there may be a little bit of ruckus over the mic, just so everybody knows. If you hear my wife trying to get my little ones to go to bed, that's what's going on. But I'm going to get on here right now because I'm exhausted and I want to do a live stream tonight and I want to talk to you guys before I go to bed. I've been up since about 5:30 this morning. I'm tired. So I hope everybody's doing all right. Good evening, Jennifer, Ice Mask, both of you guys I see talking in chat. I had a question that came through on my Skype phone number. So I've had people trying to call when I'm not on the live stream, which of course the number's right there, right there. And so when I'm live, you feel free to call, but it doesn't really work too well when I'm not on the stream. So but I had a question that came through because apparently, I didn't know this, you can text that same number. So if I am live or you're watching this VOD when I'm not live and you have a question that you need to ask me and you want to see me answer it on YouTube when I'm doing these videos, then you can text this same phone number right here. You can text it now if you want. If you don't want to actually call in, then that's fine too, because apparently I can receive SMS messages through it. I did not know this. So someone actually asked me a question last week after the show. I'm watching your bedbug show, but I can't see where I can ask a question. So I called the phone number, but it just rang and rang, which is what happens when I'm not live. My name is Kathy. And my question is, do I spray the bed first or the cracks and the crevices? And then they give me their phone number. So if you're using Crossfire, the way that you do a bed bug treatment on your bed is you have to strip the bed of the sheets, covers, comforters, pillows. Basically, you have a bare mattress and a box spring. If you have plastic on your mattress and box spring, you need to remove the plastic. If you have mattress encasements on the bed, you need to remove the mattress encasements. So it's just nothing but a naked bed. Just the box spring and the mattress, and that's it. You treat your bed frame, headboard, footboard, cracks and crevices all throughout the bed frame. You treat the box spring, you flip it upside down. You treat underneath around the staples, around where the cloth kind of staples to the bottom of the box spring. It's a good idea to peel off that piece of felt, like it's like a big black cloth that kind of staples to the bottom of the mattress. Not the mattress, but the box spring. And you can remove that, treat inside the box spring, treat the mattress. And it doesn't really matter what order you go in, just as long as it all gets done. Because like I said, she did ask if she should spray the bed first or the cracks and the crevices. Do it all. treat cracks and crevices around the baseboards, treat around the bed frame, treat the legs of the bed, treat the back of the headboard, treat everything and all the baseboards, window sills around the window molding, door molding. Anywhere a crack is formed, especially in a heavily infested room, you want to really kind of treat everything. You want to be very thorough, and that's what you need to do. But hopefully that answered at least that question. So I don't know how to do voicemail. Apparently you can do a voicemail on Skype, but I'm new to this whole phone number thing. I never was going to do a phone call-in show because I kind of think they're cheesy, but I'm cheesy anyway, so I guess it fits. So if there's ever any questions and you don't feel like chatting in the chat channel, then by all means, I do have a phone number that you can call right there if you want to talk to me. But everybody's going to hear you. It's a live show that everybody's going to hear you ask a question. Everyone's going to be able to hear my response. And so it's just like if you were to call in a radio show and request your song being played. A lot of times they play your voice on the air. And so that's what happens when you call in the show. People are going to hear you ask a question. People are going to hear my response. So anyway, hope everybody's ready for the weekend. I'm ready for the weekend. I got tonight is Thursday night, which is, of course, everybody knows that's my live stream nights. I have videos that go live on Tuesdays for my regular video. I did do a video last week. Just so you know, you should like and subscribe to the channel. This is my YouTube channel. It's Green Acres PC. YouTube.com/Green Acres PC. I've got a video that went live. So I did this one. I like this video. This is how to treat a car in less than a minute, because people have been asking me for videos on how to treat the vehicle. And I do have videos like this on my course, which I don't know how to bring that up. Let me see. If I bring this and then go down to show more on the description, scroll down and click course. So usually I have all this stuff ready. There's my course on how to, that like I said, there's links in the description and everything for that, but that's my course on how to do bed bugs on your own. And one of the videos, well, now that everything's all messed up, that's actually here. And so I sped it up to make it last about a minute so you can watch it through really quick and easy. And you can pause it at different intervals if you need to read the subtitles in it and everything. So hopefully that's been helpful for people. And I also have, this is actually went live Tuesday. Avoid bed bugs when traveling, because, it's that time of year. A lot of people are going on vacation. A lot of people are, wanting to know how they can avoid bed bugs on vacation, how they can avoid bringing bed bugs home from hotels, friends and family. If you're going to a person's home, then how not to bring bed bugs home with you and how to treat your, and like I said, that's another reason I did the vehicle video right here, because I also put it on my TikTok channel. For those that don't know, I do have TikTok. Right here is my TikTok. And so you can go to Green Acres PC, again, just like YouTube. And so you could scroll down and watch my my videos on TikTok. And there's the car video, how to treat a car for bed bugs. So, but that's one reason I put that up Saturday, because I don't know how to take this. So I've been on YouTube for a little over 5 years, well, almost 5 years. It'll be 5 years in August. And I don't honestly know how to take the attention. I sit here and I talk on camera, and I talk about bugs. I sit here and I talk about bugs. I had no idea that I'd have, over 14,000 subscribers here, almost 5 years later, and that I'd have so many people coming to live, like the live stream now. I've only got 6, but last week I had almost 50 people in here, and at one point, and it's kind of crazy, and I just never really thought that would happen. But so kind of as a thank you, I normally don't do videos on the weekends, but I made a video Saturday last weekend on how to treat cars, and I just sped it up super fast so you guys could see that. I put it up on my YouTube channel. Mainly it's just like I said, like a thank you for everybody that's been watching me all these years and putting up with my nonsense talking about how to kill bugs. But anyway, that's just kind of a thank you from me. I get mushy, and now I need to, well, now I feel all uncomfortable. My wife is actually, see, now I'm messing up and everything. My wife is actually the reason that I started my YouTube channel. That video that I did, which is right down here, this video right here, it's because I have my popular uploads, which this is the most popular video. It's got almost 200,000 views. That one is about why heat treatments don't work for bed bugs. And I didn't know that was going to be such a popular video when it was, but my wife said I needed to go and I need to do these videos and talk about what I have problems with in the pest control industry and how to actually solve these problems on your own if you can't afford pest control. And so I went and I searched and I looked all over YouTube. I couldn't find anybody doing anything quite like what I do. And so, I mean, like I said, normally, well, I actually went over this a couple weeks ago in my live stream where people come on and they talk about where, you need to buy from me or you need to purchase from me. And if you fail at pest control, well, you need to hire me. And that really just doesn't work in a YouTube venue. When you've got people that watch YouTube from all over the world, they can't hire you. They can't. You guys can't hire me. Most of the people that watch my YouTube channel cannot hire me. I do statewide bedbug control all over the state of Virginia, but I don't go anywhere else. I don't go to. I've had people, talk to me from Australia, Canada, New York, California, all over the world, just all over the world. And for me to come on YouTube and say, when you fail, call me. I'm a professional. I can take care of your problem. That's just not realistic. And so I feel like that's all you ever find if you go on YouTube. Now, today, 5 years in the future, I find that it's a lot more easy to find these types of videos. Like, I feel like it's almost like they're a dime a dozen. In fact, there are some channels that have started up since I started my channel that've got like over 2-3 million people that watch them. And so I think it's a good thing that finally there are other options out there where you can actually go and find it. In fact, I would like to promote one on my channel tonight, which is Pest, O-L-U-T-I-O-N. It's Pest Solutions. So this is a really good channel. I want to just actually promote this channel. They've got 71,000 subscribers. It's not a lot, but they're actually really good. And I took a little bit of tips from the way that they do their thumbnails on the way that I've started doing my thumbnails as well. But they've got videos like occasional invading pests to look out for in the summer, Japanese beetles and stuff, tips and tricks for lawn care. See, this is just actually a really good pest control channel where they give you all kinds of tips and tricks on how to do your own pest control. And they've got product reviews where you can find the products and everything. So I actually recommend this channel. I think this is actually a really, really good channel. So if you're looking for something other than what I do, then by all means, hit them up, take a look at what they've got to offer, because they're actually really good too. So, and they're not paying me to say that. I just like to, I pointed out a few weeks ago a guy that really wasn't helping the situation. And so I thought I'd point out a group that is helping. In fact, I'll put the link in the chat, so in case anybody wants to go and subscribe to them, they can. So, Ice Mask 69 says, I think I found out what I did wrong with applying a crossfire, and it's pretty hilarious. First, because the first treatment I didn't do my sister's room, and my little sister slept in there with her stuff and brought it back out into the living room, reinfesting the area that I had treated. Second treatment and washed, but I'm still getting bit up. But it was my fault. If I didn't do the first treatment wrong, I would. Yes, you got to do the whole house. So it's important when you treat a home for bed bugs that you do every room of the house. It's really important, even rooms that you don't suspect would be a problem. Because for one, not everybody gets eaten up by bed bugs in the same way. They don't exhibit the same symptoms from the bites. They don't have the same histamine reactions from the bites. And so you can't assume just because someone isn't exhibiting symptoms of bed bug bites that the bed bugs aren't actually in their room. Excuse me. So you need to treat living rooms. You need to treat even guest bedrooms. It is a possibility that someone slept in your home months ago brought bed bugs into the home, and they're just now venturing out of the guest bedroom into the rest of the house, because bed bugs can live for months without a blood meal. In fact, someone texted me the other day through one of my channels and asked me if bed bugs could actually survive 18 months without a blood meal, and that is absolutely true. I know a lot of people think that's a crazy long time, but it absolutely is true that they can go up to 18 months without a blood meal. It's been proven in scientific study and review, and so you can actually prove that they can live beyond 16, 17, 18 months without a blood meal. And so it's important to treat every room of the house. And if you're outside of the area in which the bed bugs are actually going to be attracted to you, it may take them several weeks, even months, before they actually find you in the room of the house that you're sleeping in. So you need to treat every room, every bed, strip them all. In fact, in houses that I do for bed bugs, it's really common to have people say, well, do you really have to do this room? No one's used this room in months. Yes, it is important to treat every single bed in the house. Treat them all the same. Treat the bed frame, headboard, footboard, bed rails, box spring, mattress, sofas, love seats, pull-out sofas. Even a pull-out sofa that is never slept on. So it's a common thing for people, well, it's not common, but it does happen, where people will get a sleeper sofa. And you'll pull out the sleeper sofa and the plastic will still be on the mattress. Like it's never been used and the sofa's like 10 years old. It's like they got it just in case they had house guests and they never used the mattress. I have found bed bugs living inside the plastic in a sleeper sofa that has never been used to sleep on. Just because someone sat on the sofa, the bed bugs crawled down underneath the cushions and got into the sleeper sofa. So everything. Just treat it all as if every piece of furniture is going to be infested with bed bugs. And you'll get rid of your bed bugs doing it that way. You have to be very thorough. You can't be, too thorough with bed bugs. It's a good idea just to do everything. Lynn Shelton says, hey, from Detroit, I've used Crossfire now. I've only one bed bug. I vacuumed up the few shells. Where did they go? It's only been a week. Oh, there's my wife. Vegan Tree Mama. That is my wife. Hello, Alicia. So she's typing tonight. I didn't know she was over there sneaking in here. It surprised me when I see my wife there. But I vacuumed up a few shells. Where did they go? It's only been a week. Okay, so it's common that yes, she's a moderator. So she can catch if it gets really busy. So a couple weeks ago, it was insanely busy. I had a lot of people in here, and I'm slow on the uptake. I missed a couple questions. A couple people got mad at me. I'm not doing that on purpose. I really do try to answer every question, but sometimes the room gets to flying away from me while I'm answering a question, and I lose track. So she stopped in here. I don't know if she's going to stick around to moderate or not, but if she sees a question that someone poses and I don't answer it, then she will absolutely say, hey, pay attention. So anyway, but yeah, to answer your question, Lynn, it usually takes several weeks to kill off a bedbug infestation using Crossfire. And the reason this is because Crossfire is a non-repellent pesticide. So the bedbugs don't see the chemical for what it is. And so they're not going to know to avoid it. They're not going to try to get away from it. And they're just going to behave like usual. So what happens when you get a bedbug infestation is the bedbugs don't necessarily bite you right away. So you can bring bedbugs into your house and never get bit for weeks. It may take 3 weeks before you get the first bedbug bite, because if an egg, so let me give you this scenario. You're going to a hotel and you sit your luggage bag down beside the bed. All right, there's no live bed bugs in this room, because let's say there were bed bugs in it a week ago, an exterminator came in, killed all the live adult bed bugs. There are no adults in this room at all. There's no nymphal stages, no stages, tore everything apart, sprayed the room, killed all the bed bugs, all right? But the eggs are still there. So you sit your luggage down on the floor next to the bed where the eggs have fallen onto the carpet, or you maybe just throw your suitcase on the bed and unpack your clothes or whatever, which I don't recommend, unpacking your clothes from your suitcase in a hotel room, because you'll get things other than just You'll get things other than just bed bugs. You can get cockroaches and stuff too. But the reason that the bed bugs, so what happens is the eggs will stick to the your suitcase, and then you'll take your suitcase home. And the eggs can take 6 to 10 days to hatch once they're laid. So it can take a week or so before the eggs actually hatch. And you haven't gotten bit yet. You just brought an egg home. You're not bit. And then it takes, after the egg hatches, the baby doesn't come out immediately and say, oh, I'm hungry, I need to bite somebody. They don't do that. They actually wait a week to 10 days to bite you after they hatch. So now you've been home for 2 to 3 weeks, and then finally this bed bug's like, I'm feeling a little hungry. I might go out here and bite this person now because I'm hungry, and here I am. I'm near the bed. And so they come out and they bite you. So this is one of the reasons a lot of times bed bugs go under radar, because they don't even really need to bite you then. A nymphal stage bed bug can last up to 4 months without a blood meal. So let's say you take your luggage and you put it in your closet and you unpack all your clothes and you hang your clothes up, or you do your laundry or whatever. Maybe you leave your suitcase in the laundry room, and your laundry room's downstairs in the basement. Like ours is right behind me. Well, you can't see it, but it's behind me. I'm in the basement doing my live stream. This is where I sit. I'm in the basement. So I come in, take my luggage down, unload all my dirty clothes in the dirty hampers in the laundry room. I leave my luggage in the laundry room. And then the bed bugs have to find their way upstairs. So it may take them several weeks to even several months before they find their way upstairs to where I am. And by this point, you may have even forgotten, well, when did I go out of town? Let me think. And so they can sneak under the radar. And this is the same thing with family. If family members come to visit, or friends come to visit, and they drop off a few bed bug eggs, and it's just eggs, then it can take several weeks to even months before you even realize you have an infestation. In fact, most of the houses I go in, from the infestation levels that I see, usually it's like, my approximation is they've had the bed bugs for about 6 months to a year. And that's when they first start noticing, they start seeing them crawling, maybe even in the daytime. Bed bugs typically feed between 2 and 4 in the morning. So they're not going to feed all day long, all the time. But if you start seeing them come out during the day, usually it's because they're running out of places to hide, or they're trying to retreat from each other to keep each other from killing them. Because a female goes through an extremely hostile mating ritual with the male, and if she mates more than a couple of times, it can kill her. But the males still want to mate. So the females will actually retreat into other rooms of the house. They will go into like dressers and things and try to hide there as the infestation gets worse. And so typically they like to stay around the bed, around the headboard, around the bed rails and footboards and stuff like that. But when they start to reproduce to the point where they migrate into other rooms of the house, that's why they do that. And that's when people start noticing, it's like, wow, I have bed bugs. And you go to the house and you flip up the bed and you're like, wow, you really do have bed bugs, because that's when you actually start finding heavier infestation. So anyway, if that answered your question, you can vacuum up shells, and it's not as if the bed bugs are actually gone. It's that you're just vacuuming up a few shells. They could be hiding places like behind baseboards. I did a house one time in Sterling, Virginia, which is about 3.5 hours from my house, where the lady the only way she had bed bug was she had them in like a baggie like this. She had saved one in a baggie, and it was in her freezer, and I went there, and sure enough, there's a bed bug. I knew she had bed bugs, and I treated the whole house. I could not find a single bed bug in her house at all, and I looked. I was there for over 3 hours doing this bed bug job. In fact, my wife was there with me. She was waiting for me in the car. She got irritated with how long it was taking me to do this bed bug job. She left with my daughter to go pee at a service station because she had to go to the bathroom.
I was pregnant.
She was pregnant.
Baby jumped out of my bladder.
She wasn't upset. That's when she was pregnant with my youngest, who now is 2.5 years old. And the baby decided that he was going to use her bladder like a trampoline, which is what happens when women are pregnant. And she had to go pee, so she had to leave with my daughter and go find a bathroom somewhere and use the bathroom. And so but like I said, it took me like 3 hours. This woman called me when I got home 3 or 4 days later. She called my house and she said, hey, I found 3 bed bugs that crawled out and died from whatever you did. So even though we spent so long in her house, we didn't find anything. We didn't find anything at all. I know where to look for, and I know how to find bed bugs. We couldn't find anything. So the best thing that I could figure is that they were hiding behind the baseboard where the headboard actually touched the wall, and that's the place that the bed bugs crawled out of and died. So, but the chemical's there. The point is that when you treat the baseboards and you treat, you don't just treat the bed. You treat around the baseboards and the wall cracks and stuff and the places that the bed bugs hide. They come out. They come out and they die eventually. And because crossfire, they don't see it as a chemical. They don't even know it's there. So anyway, if that answered your question, I hope that answered your question. It was a long answer to a very, very short question, but that's the way I typically do these. In fact, that's one of the biggest complaints I get on all my videos is, wow, you're really long-winded. Yeah, I really talk too much. Can you get to the point? You talk too much. So, but that's what I do. I talk a lot. So... Oh, so what are everybody's plans for this weekend? Anybody go camping? I like to camp. I enjoy camping. I like to go camping because I'm an exterminator and I like to go be at one with the bugs. I like to pay to be homeless for a few days. So, but I like to camp. I was actually thinking I haven't had a day to rest in weeks. I run all the time. I'm always busy. In fact, I've got a chandelier I'm supposed to install for my wife up in the kitchen whenever I can get around to it. And I was telling my wife, I was like, man, I would love to go camping for Father's Day. But this weekend is like the first week. Oh, we got a call. Let's get to that. Is it going to work? There we go. Hello, this is Jason with Green Akers Pest Control. How are you today?
Hello, I'm fine. I'm calling from Europe, so my English is not very well.
That's perfectly fine. Perfectly fine. You sound like you speak really well. I understand you. As redneck as I am, I can understand you.
Okay. Well, I have a question. It's a simple question.
Okay.
Well, what do I have to do with all my clothes? I have a lot of clothes.
Well, you could open a consignment shop. No, so what I recommend with clothing, how bad, is it bed bugs? Is that what you're having problems with?
Yes.
How bad are the bed bugs?
Well, I think I have bed bugs for 2 years now.
Oh, that's a long time to be suffering with bed bugs.
Yes.
Well, typically I recommend with clothing is you need to, all right, so if you're worried that bed bugs might be in your clothing, what I recommend, now the problem is dry clean only clothes are the only issue you're going to have a problem with, but regular clothes that you can wash and launder, in your washing machine and dryer, I usually recommend taking the clothes and putting them in the dryer first, especially clean clothes that you don't really need to launder, but you think they might have bed bugs in them. If you will dry them first and then check the lint trap in your dryer vent, because a lot of times it will catch dead bed bugs because you'll kill them in the dryer. So because the dryer does kill bed bugs, and so because they can't get away from the heat at all, they die in the dryer, and the dryer will suck them up inside the dryer vent. And so pull out the lint trap and just check and see if you have any dead bed bugs. If you do, then you might want to wash those clothes and dry them again. But there's no reason why you should go and waste, hundreds of gallons of water doing your laundry when the laundry's already clean. And if you're worried that bed bugs might get in even your clean laundry after you've already laundered them and everything, you can seal them up in plastic bags until you make sure you've eliminated your bed bug infestation in your house. And then you can go ahead and go back to putting your clothes in your dressers and in your drawers and stuff like that and putting them away. But that's what I recommend to everybody do. And I know it can be kind of daunting because you're like, wow, I really do have a lot of laundry. But bed bugs aren't attracted to clothes. It's like I was just talking about, is the bed bugs only get in your clothes when they reach that population boom where they start wandering into other areas of the house. They really don't want to be in your clothes. I mean, if your clothes are really next to your bed, or you keep maybe Some people have those beds with drawers, like a trundle bed, but it's not a trundle. It's actually drawers under the bed where they keep their laundry. I recommend not keeping your laundry in those during the bed bug, elimination process, because the bed bugs will absolutely live in your laundry if it's kept under your bed. But I would stick to armoires, dressers, things like that, closets, and keep your clothes in areas like that away from your bed. The bed bugs are going to naturally crawl out of your clothes because they can't get a blood meal from a sweater. So they're going to crawl out to bite you. And when they do, they crawl across the treatment and they die. Now, where in Europe do you live? Where are you from in Europe?
Holland.
So can you get crossfire where you live?
No, I cannot, but I will try other things.
Yeah, you can try. The biggest issue, and the reason that I recommend crossfire is because crossfire is non-repellent. So it works on the bed bug's natural desire to feed on you. And so it doesn't see the chemical. It doesn't even know the pesticide is even there. And they still crawl out to try to get to you. And when they do, they die. But there are other alternatives that are non-repellent. The problem is that most non-repellent pesticides, the bed bugs have developed an immunity to these pesticides because they've been around for a long time. And they just hung up. Uh-oh. Maybe they'll call back. Let's see. What's going on here? Man, I got to go all the way back up. We like the stories. I'm taking my son to see the Cubs tomorrow. He is on leave right now. That sounds like fun. You need to take a vacation. Oh, I like working. I like working, but when you go camping on vacation, as a vacation, it's not a vacation. It's work. You go camping, you're cutting wood, you're starting fires, you're getting up in the morning, you're getting breakfast made. It is a job to camp. And I was actually thinking I might just sit at home and take it easy, maybe play some games with the kids or something, and just take it easy for a weekend. So, and thank you, Alicia. She says I don't talk a lot. So, I don't believe you, but thank you anyway. How hot does the dryer have to get? The dryer has to get above 125 degrees. So the adults die at 118 and the eggs die at 125. So as long as the dryer gets to above 125 degrees, it's going to kill every single stage of bed bugs.
So basically a heat dry or high heat, you'd want to avoid like an air dry.
Right. Heated dry, not air dry. So you want to use like a high heat dry, hot as it gets. And if you're worried that clothes might scorch, you can put them in things like lingerie bags. You can actually get pretty big lingerie bags to try to keep it from touching the sides of the dryer so it won't get scorched. But that's usually what I recommend people do, and do smaller loads. Don't do like a full load of laundry. Do like a half load of laundry so that it gets full heat penetration into all of the clothes. Because the bigger the load of laundry, the harder it is for the heat to get into those big, like, what's help me out here.
What? Oh yeah. So it's gonna have a harder time distributing the heat.
Distribution of the heat. That's the word I was looking for. So she's the encyclopedia. Whatever, dictionary. Dictionary makes more sense. She's an encyclopedia too. She's the smart one. She's the brains. Like I said, she's the reason I have YouTube. She's the brains. So. After you treat the bed, is there such thing as spraying too much for the rest of the room? No, so yes, there is. So when you treat the rest of the room, you just want to focus your attention on baseboards and around the cracks around the wall. So like, for example, if you go to, I need to take some pictures of these, but your window facings that go around the outside of your window molding, that's what I wanted to say. Usually there's a crack. Now, if it hasn't been caulked, there's usually a crack around your window molding. Treat in behind that. The bed bugs will live there. Those are the places, and that's really all. I mean, if the bed bugs are up near the ceiling, you know, where the wow, we've got spiders on our ceiling, but where the where the sheetrock on the ceiling meets the sheetrock with the wall, and it forms that little crack right there. You could treat there. Plaster walls are horrible. Paneled walls are horrible. If you have paneling on the walls, you have to treat the seam where the paneling connects together in the middle where it forms that crack. You have to treat there. But basically anywhere there's a crack or a crevice, those are the places you want to treat, because bed bugs don't like to be in the open. They're a lot like a cockroach. You know, if you go into a kitchen and you flip on the light and the roaches, where do the roaches go? They go into the cracks. They squeeze into a crack where they feel safe. Bed bugs are the same way. They want to squeeze into a crack, which is why in the bed, if you tear the bed apart and you look like around where the wood joints together, where screws hold the wood together, they always squeeze into the littlest crack to try to save themselves. And so those are the places you want to target when you're doing a bed bug treatment. And you don't need to spray the whole floor. You don't need to spray the whole walls or the ceiling. You know, you just have to spray the cracks and the crevices. Those are the only places. So you can make your crossfire actually will go a long ways. In fact, I have a couple of videos. I'm gonna actually cut them down and edit them a little bit to try to try to create an anonymity. But I had a guy send me a few videos on how to mix crossfire for like a half a gallon to help my audience, and he actually gave. I might even redo the video myself because it was a really good idea, and I think that might help, because he said himself that he wanted it to be anonymous for me not to tell people who he was or let people hear his voice or anything like that. But he gave actually a really good tutorial on how to mix a half a gallon of crossfire, because the problem is with crossfire, and let's see here, is if you go and you look on, let's see, bed bug supplies right here. Actually, see, I put my flashlight. That's the flashlight I use, by the way, when I do pest control. I put that up here because I think that's a real important tool for any pest control job. But if you go to the crossfire bottle, so this is all it is. It's just this 13-ounce bottle, and it the problem is that there's no graduated cylinder on the side, so you can't tell what 6.5 ounces is. This is a 13-ounce bottle. 13 ounces is added to water to equal a gallon of crossfire. So 13 ounces plus 115 ounces of water equals 128 ounces, which is a gallon. So that's how you mix crossfire. Typically what I do is I pour 2 quarts of water, pour the whole bottle in, and then fill it the rest of the way up to equal a gallon. And that's how you mix crossfire. In fact, I've got a video on how to mix crossfire on my YouTube channel. If you go, let's see, go here, it's right here. It's a short. It's a real short, simple, sweet video on how to mix it. But anyway, so the problem is that you can't really separate the 6.5 ounces. You can't divide it in half very easily. But he actually goes over a really good explanation on how to do it. And so I actually thought I might do a similar video for you guys to help you understand it. It'll probably be a real short video like one of these, so you can understand how to do it on your own, so you don't use your whole bottle. Because the problem is that if you use, let's see, where is it? If you use this whole bottle and you mix a full 128 ounces of crossfire, you're probably not going to use the whole thing. You're going to have a lot of waste, and you really don't want to keep it past a day or two, because it starts to congeal, it separates from the water, and it just doesn't work well at all after that. So you need to mix only what you need, which is typically a half a gallon, and that's all you're going to need. You don't need a lot of it. You don't need to overuse it. You'll be surprised how fast you can use a half a gallon, but you'll also be surprised at how much it covers. So, Jason, oh wait, let's see. What does this say? How hot does the dryer have to get? Okay, Ice Mask said, don't spray your clothes or blankets, and if you over spray, it'll take longer to dry. That's true. And don't spray your clothes and blankets. Jason, I sprayed with crossfire, and the next day I got bitten. Do I have to spray again, or do I have to wait at least 2-3 more days? Wait 2 or 3 more weeks. You don't have to spray right away at all, because like I was saying, you're not going to get you're going to get bit. They don't know you're there. So, I mean, they don't know the chemical is there. They know you're there. So they're going to come out and get you. But it takes about 2 to 4 hours for a bed bug to die once it's dry. And the only time a bed bug really feeds is between 2 and 4 in the morning, which is 2 hours. So a bed bug can technically come out, bite you, retreat back, hide, and die under the bed. So you can still get bit the very next day. You could spray crossfire today and get bit tomorrow night, because it takes 2 to 4 hours for a bug to die after it's crawled through it. And this is not just bed bugs, this is any bug that crawls through it. It just takes that long for them to die because it's no longer wet. If you spray a pesticide while it's wet directly on a bug, it's going to absorb into their body faster. It takes a lot longer for it to absorb once it's dry. So that's why you still get bit even after you've used it. But it works. It works really well. It will kill them. So microwaves are out. Yes, we don't nuke bed bugs. Honestly, I would just go camping and put them in the campfire, but I don't have a lot of expensive clothes. I like to camp. I actually really like to camp. I was actually considering getting a camper, but they've gone up astronomically high this year, so I don't think this is going to be the year that I buy a camper. So.
And cruising's still out.
Yeah, cruising's still out. I don't want to do that. So, is there an ideal temperature of water to mix with? I usually just lukewarm, warm, not hot. It doesn't need to be hot, but, warm, because crossfire is thick. In fact, so let's see if we could watch this, if it even shows good enough.
If you have one of these on the side of your home, you probably already know that most...
I don't want to hear that guy. All right. So the way that we mix crossfire is, first we want to pour warm water into our gallon container. Now we're using a gallon size container because crossfire is mixed 13 ounces to a gallon. And now the little bottle that you see in this little clip is a 13-ounce bottle of crossfire. So what you do is you pour the water into the B&G or whatever sprayer you're... Now, see that? That's really thick. See how thick? That's really thick, white, creamy stuff. So the problem is if you use cold water, it's not going to emulsify as well. It will still mix eventually, but you're going to have to shake that tank up. You're going to have to pick it up and shake it and agitate it, because it's just not going to mix very well. But if you pour, like I said, half full of water, let's go ahead and watch the rest of it. We're using a B&G in this specific clip. And you fill it halfway full, and then you pour your crossfire in like we're doing, and then you fill it the rest of the way up with water, and then you shake your tank, and that's all it is to mixing crossfire. You've got your... So anyway, that's how you do it. That's how you mix it. So, but like I said, I've got all these tutorials on my YouTube channel, so you should go over here and click this little button right here where it says subscribe. It's youtube.com/greenacrespc. And Akers is spelled Akers. And this is my channel right there. And just go there and click it and like it and subscribe to me. And see this little live? There's me live right there. I never understand why they pick the screenshots they do for those. It's always the most unflattering picture you could imagine. But anyway. So how many people are here now? 20? 20 people are on channel now right now. Jennifer's supposed to be my subscribe hero. She's supposed to be the one that's supposed to tell people, hey, there's not enough people clicking the like button and not enough people liking the video. Like the video. And she's supposed to be doing that. She's slacking. But anyway. Let's see. Hello. I just sprayed my siding with Varicor SP for Springtails. 3 ounces in a 2-gallon pump sprayer. Totally useless. Still crawling around a few hours later. Any recommendations on a good product? So Springtails are usually a problem with people who... I actually have a video on Springtails. So if you click here and you go and you subscribe to the channel and then you type Springtail right there. There's my video. Oh, you can't see it. There you go. Springtails, right there. So I have a video on springtails. So you can use, I'm going to say something I usually don't tell. I usually don't say. I'm going to get real close. Like this. Diatomaceous earth works for springtails. So you can spread DE in your yard because springtails come from the yard. You can sprinkle DE in your grass, in your yard, like lime. Like spread it like lime, and it will absorb into the soil, and it will kill springtails in the soil. I do not recommend using diatomaceous earth in your house because it is not safe to breathe it in. I've got videos on it. You go right here, right underneath this springtail video, right here. There is a video right there. Diatomaceous earth. Does diatomaceous earth really work? A deadly mistake in do-it-yourself pest control, because I go over this. I hate to beat a dead horse, but I absolutely do all the time. When it comes to DE, I do not recommend using it into your house. It is an aggravant for your lungs. Do not use it in your house. But you can use it in your yard. It will kill springtails. But the springtails, this is a video on how to get rid of springtails. I did it about a year ago because I actually did a customer for springtails, and I said, I've never done a video on springtails. So there's a video on springtails right there on how to eliminate them. And it's got the pesticides that I recommend to use on springtails that I have used for springtails that actually work on springtails. So I would recommend going and checking that video out if you're curious. But yeah, so just Jennifer was talking about my Amazon store in the chat. And so this is my Amazon store. It's Amazon. It's all these links are in the description of all my videos. I try. Some of my older ones don't have the links. But that's my store. I've got bedbug supplies right here. Tick control. Now, these change based on how I edit them. So if I decide to add an ingredient in here that I think might help with tick control, it's going to push this up to the top of the list. I just put this flashlight in there because I made a video on bedbugs. And I talked about the most important tool in my toolbox, and absolutely a flashlight's number one. So I put that, and that's actually the flashlight. I use a little mini mag light. Takes a 3 AAA batteries, and I love them. They last forever too. Like on a charge, they're amazing on the batteries. But anyway, I've got tick control there. I've got ant control, stink bugs, spiders, bed bugs in New York and Canada, lice, because that came up one time. So I thought I'd advise people with lice. Carpenter bees, bird mites, springtails, cockroaches, mouse and rat control, termites, and flea control. So we've got all those different categories. And I was actually thinking of making a new category because I've started doing a show every so often on things that I review. So I thought of making a review page. But the problem with review pages is I don't always recommend the products I review. So I did 2 new reviews. I did one on Raid, and I did one on Home Defense. They're my latest reviews that I've done. And the Home Defense actually went off pretty well. People really like that video. But I explain, I think I rated Home Defense like a 7 or a 7.5 and out of 10. And I rated Raid like a 3 because I just don't think Raid is it's good for hot shot, like just spray it and it's dead. But as far as like a longevity of a pesticide, something that's going to last for a long time as a residual, it's not very good for that. So I thought about making a new page and showing people where you could actually get some of these products that I review, but I don't know if that's going to be such a good idea. Ice Mask 69. Donated $1. Thank you, Ice. You didn't have to do that. Let's see. What do you think about Temprid FX as a bedbug treatment chemical? The pest control company I hired recently treated my home with Temprid. Temprid's an older pesticide that people use for bedbugs. It does work sometimes. Bedbugs have started to develop an immunity to Temprid. So it may or may not work, but I recommend treating once every 2 weeks if you're going to use Temprid. That's another ingredient. That's another pesticide that's actually, I believe Temprid is a non-repellent, I think. Let me look it up and make sure before I go and say that. I might be wrong. Oh, by the way, these are my shirts that I made. Actually, my wife helped me make them. She's the one that said she liked that design. But that's the hoodie. That's in the link too. I think that's in the...
I honestly think it could have more tie-dye in it, but...
You think it... Well, you know, they didn't have tie-dye as an option. Like, they got red. Like, you could do red. Or you could do orange. And purple. And that weird... I think it's gray or blue-gray. I don't... What is that color? I don't know what that color is. Then you got blue, and then you got black. I don't think the black shows up very good. I think the blue is the prettiest one. I like that one. I would wear that. I would wear that for sure. But that's a do-it-yourself Pest Control Pro. I think that's cool, and that's my logo right there, little logo. But anyway, if you're interested, that's a link below too. I got some merch because people were telling me I needed to have merch. I don't know why. It's something people do on this dream thing now. Hey, are you selling merch? Not really. What are you talking about? So, I personally think that if someone is going to go and buy something that, I mean, yeah, a shirt is great and it covers you up and it keeps you warm. That'll keep you warm coming up in the wintertime or whatever. But honestly, I think if you're going to spend your money, you'd be better off spending it in my Amazon store. I get like a cut of every, like 3%, I think, for pesticides. But I think that would go a lot further to help you. When you buy a t-shirt, yeah, I get a little bit more of the profit, but it, you know, I don't think it's as helpful personally. But people were like, hey, I want to get a shirt. So I made shirts. What do you think about Temprid? Okay, so I answered that question. Oh, yeah, I wanted to look it up. See, I get to talking and running my mouth. Temprid FX. Let's see. Let's go to do my own, because they have labels usually. Label. The label is the law, always. So let's read the label together. Let's zoom in a little bit. There we go. It's a imidacloprid, which is a neonicotinoid. Crossfire is a neonicotinoid as well. So it's the same family of pesticides. It says, let's see. Risk of pollinators. Which probably means it probably is a non-repellent. If it's harmful to bees, it probably is a non-repellent, because bees will land in a non-repellent. They won't land in a repellent pesticide. Let's see, indoor general household pets. So it works on other things other than bed bugs. Let's see. I don't know if they tell you. Because, see, Crossfire will tell you right on the front that it is good for chemical-resistant bed bugs. Okay, so bed bugs. Application for indoor pests. Bed bugs. Coverings and carpets, closets, shelves, curtains, furniture, picture frames that may provide harborage to bed bugs. Inside empty luggage, apply to seams, folds, edges until moist. Remove all clothes and other articles from luggage before application and allow treated surfaces thoroughly dry before use. Reapply every 7 to 10 days. So Temprid says right on the label that if you're going to use Temprid for bed bugs, you need to treat it every 7 to 10 days. So once every week and a half. So 2 weeks is probably even too long to go between Temprid treatments. And that's on the label. You read it, I read it, right there. So, and it doesn't really say whether it's a repellent or a non-repellent. This is all just bees, yellow jackets, house flies, scorpions, so wood destroying. So it's got lots of different insects on the label, but it doesn't really say if it's a repellent. I would go under I would assume that it is a non-repellent. If there's any pest control technicians in the chat, which sometimes I do have some, I would like to know if Temprid is a non-repellent pesticide, because I don't actually have it in my arsenal. I don't use it. I've had a lot of people complain about Temprid. Professionals complain about Temprid, and so I don't actually use it in my own business.
It says it's not a repellent.
It says it's a non-repellent. Where'd you find that?
Do my own pest control.
Oh, Do My Own Pest Control says it's non-repellent. Well, I could have just saved myself a lot of time if I had just read that first. Low odor. Where does it say that?
I just Googled it, and the first thing that comes up is a link from Temprid that says, no, Temprid FX insecticide is not a repellent.
Oh, it's probably a question answer down here, because they have those.
Yeah.
Lots of subs tonight. I don't know why it dings like that. I didn't think I had subs on. I think that's what was only on when I do my Twitch, because I have a Twitch too.
Do you know anything about DE? So I looked up DE being drying on plants. I know that in my vegan wacky gardening site, because I've got a black thumb, that everyone swears by DE.
Yeah.
And the article that I read says that once it gets into the ground and it's wet, it loses its ability to basically puncture.
It does.
And so it should be safe around plants. It says it's safe around plants.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's safe around plants.
But I said, don't trust me. I got a black thumb.
Yeah, my wife kills plants. So I will be right back. I got to run to use the bathroom real quick. Let me do this and mute my mic. Okay, let's get this fixed. There we go. Sorry about that. This is 40 ounces. My wife says I use the bathroom so much because I drink like 6. I drink more than 6 of these a day, don't I?
I would say 5 to 6 at least. But
At least.
You're out in the heat all day too, sweating and stuff.
So let's see. Good evening, Jason. I've been dealing with a flea infestation in my crawl space. Oh, those are so bad. Those are so bad. Oh, that brings back nightmares. In my crawl space that has been infesting the house as well. What do you recommend to treat the crawl using PT Alpine in the home? So it depends on how close your crawl space is. So if you've got, only a couple of feet of clearance, it's going to be really difficult to treat the crawl space for fleas. But you need to start treating the crawl space for the mice. If you have mouse problem under your house, you need to get rid of the animals. So if you've got animals living underneath your house, you need to get the animals out from underneath your house. So the fleas have nothing to feed on. They're going to start coming upstairs because there's nothing to feed on. But that's the easiest way to get rid of the fleas. You're going to be dealing with them for a while, but you can treat the floor in your house easier than treating the crawl space dirt. So the problem is that now I use Alpine. That's what I use for fleas. In fact, it's on my Amazon page, which is linked below. But if you go down to flea, I recommend Alpine WSG for fleas. Alpine PT is okay, but it's an aerosol, so it's not as effective as the Alpine WSG will be if you mix it yourself and spray it that way. You'll get a longer residual with the Alpine WSG, and it's really good for fleas. The problem is that when you treat for fleas, you need to be able to walk through the area. You need to be able to vacuum and move things around and agitate those larvae. So the larva of a flea, if I can, maybe I can find a picture. Flea life cycle. Let's see. Let's share my screen here. So a flea life cycle is just a basic Google search. You have, so what happens is you have the adult flea. The adult flea lays eggs. The eggs hatch into a larva, which is another, like a maggot or a worm. And then that pupates like a butterfly. So it's like a caterpillar. Okay, so it becomes a pupa. That pupa stage, that cocoon, stays for weeks, a couple of weeks, 2 to 3 weeks. It can stay dormant, and because it's gestating, it's getting ready to come out. And one of the best ways to get the flea to come out of that pupa stage is to vacuum. And you're not going to be able to vacuum your crawl space, and you're not going to be able to move around the area and agitate them to make, because what happens is they sense this change in light and shadow, and they jump towards the solid object right out of the cocoon. They're right away.
Dirt crawl space or a concrete crawl space?
If it's a dirt crawl space or a concrete crawl space, either one of them you can treat. Because she just asked me if it was a dirt or a concrete crawl space.
You could always send something in like a Roomba.
Well, yeah, if it was a concrete crawl space, you could put a Roomba under there and let it roam around and hatch the fleas. But I don't know if I would want to do that with a Roomba. They are really expensive, and I don't know if you'd suck up something in a Roomba that would mess it up and break it.
Ones, though. They're like $80.
$80 is still a lot of money to spend on a vacuum cleaner just to break it.
You could probably get one off of Wish for even cheaper.
Yeah, get it in 3 years. And it'll be like, this big. It'll be a tiny one. My youngest likes to say things, oh, it's so tiny, so tiny. Oh, let me kiss it. It's tiny. Why, it's so cute. That's what my son does. I took him to the bathroom. He's 2.5, my youngest, and he's got this obsession with little tiny things. And so he'll pick like this pencil. Let's just see, this pencil here is not a full size. The full size pencil is about that long. And he'll be like, oh, it's a baby one. It's so tiny. Oh, it's so cute. I kiss it. And that's how he does. And so he's got this newest thing with that. So I took him to the bathroom the other day, and they had a little toilet in the men's room. There's a little toilet in there. And I said, oh, look, it's a little one just for you. And he's like, oh, it's tiny. Let me kiss it. And I'm like, no, Charlie, stop. Stop. Don't kiss the toilet. You're not going to kiss the toilet. Because he's little. And he likes tiny things, and he thinks they're so cute, and he wants to kiss them. So
he's got a dirt crawl like we do.
But yeah, he's got a dirt crawl space. So it would be best to try to eliminate any rodents that were living under the house, because the fleas can't survive without a blood meal, and they will eventually come upstairs. And so I would just treat the upstairs once a month for fleas, or once every 3 weeks, typically every 3 weeks, because like in this picture right here, it takes this pupa anywhere from 2 to 3 weeks to hatch. So if you're treating every 3 weeks, you're constantly putting down a fresh pesticide that these are going to fall into and die. So that's what I would recommend. Until you stop getting bit, and that should take care of the problem, hopefully. But that's what I would do. You got to kill whatever's under the house. Because if you've got fleas in your crawl space, I'll tell you a story. This is what I said when you said fleas in a crawl. I did a house for termites one time, and the house was completely infested with mice. I mean, it was a heavily infested house. In fact, while I was under treating the house for termites, I counted probably 5 or 6 mice just jumping back and forth over my hose when I was dragging it under the house. And so it was pretty bad. And the fleas were horrible. I was rolling around in my coveralls, and the fleas were going down inside my coveralls, all down in my neck, and they were getting it was absolutely like something out of a nightmare. It was horrible. But if you had raccoons and the raccoons are now gone and you don't have any more animals underneath the crawl, I would give it a few weeks. They're probably going to all eventually migrate out of the crawl space and they'll die. So, but treat your house. You need to treat your house because the fleas can live off of your blood just like they could live off of a raccoon. So.
So one person, did you see the person that said the thing about the biting mites floating in the air?
Nope, I did not.
Yeah, it's tall, fine pine. What's the easiest way to get rid of biting mites that are floating in the air? And they put something grass.
Who said it?
Help. Tall, fine pine.
I don't see that.
They tried sulfur and DE. It's way back up there.
Oh, wow, I missed it. I'm going to have to find... Oh, tall, fine pine. What's the easiest way to get rid of biting mites that are floating in the air and they're put in tiny grass? Help me. I've tried sulfur DE. Okay, so, oh, man, you tried sulfur. You got a stinky house then. So sulfur, stinky.
It was in their yard that they did it.
I had a customer that put sulfur on their beds for bed bugs. Oh, make you vomit, turn into bed over. It was so gross. And it was yellow and it was nasty. If you've got biting mites in the sky, it's probably no-see-ums, which are... Okay, so someone actually commented on one of my videos, and they asked if there was an actual scientific name for no-see-ums. And the problem is no-see-um is more like a category. So, like, you have the mosquitoes, you have certain types of biting flies. The ones that are so tiny, they can actually fit through your screens on your windows. The screens don't keep them out because they're that small. Those are called no-see-ums. They're so tiny, you can hardly see them. Usually, I recommend just treating the yard with a type of like a mosquito pesticide. Bifenthrin is one people use pretty regularly. Talstar is bifenthrin. There is a bifenthrin shortage right now because of all the mosquito work that's being done in the industry, so you may have problems finding it. The granules work really well. The problem is that the granules are only going to kill what's on the ground, and mosquitoes and other biting flies like to roost in the leaves up underneath the bushes. So like this time of year, because it's so hot during the day, the mosquitoes and things get under the bushes where it's shady, and they like to get into the shady spots. And so you need to treat up underneath the brush. And typically the way you do that is with a type of a fogger. You can use like a mist sprayer. If like a JD9 gun can even work for that if you put it on the fine mist attachment, and treat up underneath the bushes. You get up under and you like spray up underneath the bushes, underneath heavy foliage and stuff around the house. And that will help a lot with your biting flies, and it will keep them from being able to roost around the house. And your soffits, eaves, overhangs, places that the mosquitoes like to roost. In fact, if you go around your house and you pay really close attention to the spider webs and stuff around your house, you'll find those flies caught in the spider webs because the spiders love to eat those things. And so treat those areas where you see that the flies are flying around. Treat those areas around your house, and that'll cut down a lot on them. It's not going to get rid of the whole problem because your neighbors have to do similar things to what you're doing to eliminate them in their yard. And, you know, not everybody wants to spray their yard for, you know, biting flies. So it'll help. It does help, though. It helps a little.
Sorry, I'm having trouble here.
I don't know why my watch is talking
Dee
to me.
also was asking to explain no-see-ums. Something bites her in her PJs.
Is that up high?
Yeah, it's above that one. And she doesn't see the bed bugs. Have you heard of no-see-ums? But my thoughts on this biting them when they put on their PJs is of carpet beetles, because that's what
it's probably carpet beetles, because that's what happened to you.
Yeah, my drawer was infested with them. Like, I didn't see a lot of them until we took everything out.
So we had an experience where we thought we had bed bugs, and because my wife was getting bit, or we thought she was getting bit by bed bugs. And so what happens is the bed bugs, not the bed bugs, the carpet beetles. So carpet beetles live, they like to eat natural fibers. So like wool, they love animal hide. So if you've ever had problems with mice or something like that, maybe one's died in the wall, you don't smell it or anything, but the hide is still in there. Carpet beetles eat that. My wife has this gross thing that she's done where she saves the little piece of the belly button off of the baby when it falls off. It's really gross. I'm being honest with you. It grosses me out. She's got this little box, of these belly buttons. All right, so she's got 3 kids, and she's got the belly buttons in a box. It's a belly button box. All right, it's really kind of gross, but she saves them, and it's like little pieces of beef jerky in there. It's got these little clips still on them. It's really gross. Mamas, if there's any mamas in here that save the belly buttons, can you explain to me why you save a belly button? But anyway, carpet beetles like to eat that, and they were in the box of belly buttons. So, yeah.
I was raised by a hippie mom. I didn't know it wasn't normal to do that.
Oh, it's kind of gross. It's like beef jerky. But anyway, they were in those. They were also eating her woolen sweaters. So what happens with a bed bug? I mean, not a bed bug, but a carpet beetle, is they shed these little teeny tiny microscopic hairs, like a dog or a cat sheds hair. And you can have an allergic reaction to those hairs that... I'm sorry, Jennifer. It's throwing me off. Those little tiny hairs. They shed these little tiny hairs. And you will have a reaction to those hairs just like you would insulation. And it can cause little blisters and bumps to come up on your skin. And that's what happened to my wife because she was saving the belly button box and the carpet beetles were getting into her sweaters. And then she would wear her sweaters and her pajamas. They got into our dresser because that's where she kept this little box of keepsake belly buttons. And the beetles were living inside the dresser. So the hairs were getting all over her stuff. And then she was wearing the stuff and it was causing her to break out in hives. So if you don't see bed bugs, it doesn't mean you have bed bugs. It may be carpet beetles causing you a problem. Turn over all your furniture. Empty out your dresser drawers and just look and see. Let me show you what a carpet beetle looks like. Let's see. Let's do a search here. So these are the beetles themselves. But the larva looks like this. This is what you're going to have a reaction. And you see all those little teeny tiny hairs all over their body. They shed those when they crawl across your clothing and when they crawl around on your bed and stuff. And they're really small. I mean, they're super tiny. Like, let me see if I've got something for comparison. So, well, I'll use a ruler. Ruler will work. So you see that? They're about, well, if it's going to focus, 1/4 of an inch. That's how long they are. They're 1/4 of an inch. They're really small. So, yeah, they can easily go undetected forever. I mean, for a long time.
I think they lose those little hairs, so I think those can get, like, stuck in your clothes.
Yeah, they lose those hairs. They get stuck in your clothes. You have to launder your clothes to get them to wash out. So... But it's very likely. In fact, I've gone in homes where people swore they had bed bugs, and it was just carpet beetles. It wasn't bed bugs at all. So let's see. I love the wife is supportive and involved. Oh, yeah, she likes bugs. Well, she hates bugs, but she loves me because I kill bugs. Let's see. I just found this channel when looking for info on cockroaches. This is great. It's like Scotty Kilmer for pest control. Somebody else said that. Who is Scotty Kilmer? I looked him up one time. Let's see. You just skipped 6 or 7 of us, says somebody.
I was going back trying to reread them. I think I found them.
Well, one thing is I had to pee. So a lot of people were asking questions when I was in the bathroom because I drink too much water and I had to pee and I can't catch everybody. But my wife is trying. She's over here. She's trying. Hi there. I started diatomaceous earth on the yard around the house, worried it may dry the plants and tomatoes. I don't think that's what it does. So the way diatomaceous earth works is it doesn't dry out. It dries out. It's not. It dries out a bug because it doesn't actually dry the bug out itself. So the way diatomaceous earth works is the bug crawls through it. It makes tiny lacerations in its exoskeleton. And then the bug naturally dries out because bugs don't perspirate like we do. They keep all the liquid in their body. And if you cut through their exoskeleton, it allows them to perspirate and thus they dry out and they die. So I've never heard of people having problems with diatomaceous earth drying out their plants or their tomatoes. I've never had that happen. In fact, when it gets wet, it no longer really works very well. So if you water your plants, it's not really going to work very well. It has to re-dry out for it to work. Plural of mouse is mice. Yes, that's true. At what point is a property deemed condemned? That, I don't know. That would really depend on your local ordinances. Let's see.
And then to follow up on that, carpet beetles, how do you get rid of them?
Oh, I haven't done a video on carpet beetles. Just general pest control. So how do you get rid of carpet beetles? Let's see if I can find my general pest control video. So if you go to my channel, which is youtube.com/greenacrespc, and you click subscribe, and then you go here and you type in general. I think it's in general. Yep, there it is. General pest control. Spiders, cockroaches, ants, crickets, and more. So this is a video. Oop, copy. And I'll paste it there. And that's what I recommend, is that video. Because I've done these videos. So I've got a lot of videos. Let me see. If I go to my channel, and then I go to playlists, and then I go to do it yourself. So this is 3 to 4 step pest control solutions anyone can do. All right. So this is this is my stream. So I've got bedbugs first, then cockroaches, springtails, fleas, centipedes and millipedes, bird mites, stink bugs, spiders, cockroaches, ants, crickets, and more. That's general pest control. And then I've got spiders by themselves. And then I've got ants. So these videos that I've done them because, so I haven't done a carpet beetle specific video yet. But most bugs can be controlled with general pest control. So that's why I have that actual general pest control video in there. So it's right there. So what about the mites inside the home? Well, if you've got mites, so you're talking about those little biting mites inside your home, general pest control will kill them. Jennifer says it's dry to the umbilical cord. It's like saving the first tooth. I'm also going to start to place yellow sticky traps in plants areas around monitor springtails. Place DE food grade so far. Yeah. And just so you know, just because something is labeled food grade doesn't mean it's not toxic. Because food grade DE actually is toxic to humans. It doesn't have as much crystalline DE in it, but it does have some. It's impossible to remove it all, and so it is toxic to humans, whether it's labeled food grade or not. It only has to be below a certain threshold to be labeled food grade. It is still toxic to humans. Jason, if you find one bed bug alive, does it mean you have a lot? No. It may mean you only have one. It may mean you only have 2 or 3. It doesn't mean you have a lot. Also, if you get bit 6 or 7 times in one night, it may only be one bed bug that bit you. It may not be 10, 15 bed bugs that are biting you. So how do I get rid of carpet beetles? Okay, I answered that question. Alicia, I would assume. Okay. Is anyone here genuinely entertained? Jason makes pest control interesting. Do I make pest control interesting?
I hope so.
I hope so. I don't know. I'm not. I'm just answering questions.
And so I think Dee Dee was saying something about crossfire for carpet beetles, and then that's just not labeled.
Do what?
Dee Dee was asking if crossfire can treat for.
I've been spraying my house all over with crossfire. Never saw a bed bug. Please tell me the crossfire can kill carpet beetles. Crossfire kills everything. It's not labeled for everything. It's only labeled for bed bugs. But crossfire kills all kinds of bugs. Truth. It does. Just going to answer the question, be flat out honest with you, it does. I don't recommend spraying it for anything but bed bugs. Because it's really flippin' expensive. There are cheaper alternatives out there that do
the new alternative too.
Well, Samari. Samari is really good, which I have yet to talk about because I haven't done a video on it yet, and I want to do a video first. But Alicia opened her mouth.
Sorry. Well, that's why they need to come to the live stream. They get tidbits for the future.
Yeah, that's good. See, that's smart. All right, so this is why you need to come to the live streams, because you get tidbits for the future, what I might actually do in the future if I ever get a chance, because I'm exhausted all the time. But Samari, there. This is a new chemical I've been using. I've had really good results with Samari. It is crossfire, same active ingredient as crossfire, similar. Not exactly the same. It's not exactly the same as crossfire. It is similar to crossfire. It is made by the same company that makes crossfire, but the ingredients are not identical. If you... Oh, and not for sale to Canada, New York, or California. California, New York, Connecticut. Yeah, so they're restrictive on who they sell to. But if you pull the label, it is... So let's look at this label. Oops. Hey, go over there. There we go. And then let's go and search for another one. Crossfire. Crossfire. There we go. And we'll do this. We'll do a comparison. So I can show you the difference. I want to show the difference. Crossfire concentrate label. Alright. So let's try to make this work. Alright. See if I could pull the other label here. There we go. Alright, so this is Samari, and this is Crossfire. So let's see if I can pull this over here. Well, it's not wanting to work. How do I get rid of these little page thingies over here? That's annoying me. Well, let's see if I can get the active in there. There we go. There. Perfect. Perfect. Almost. Alright, so I'm going to give you a lesson here on the differences. So this is the same active ingredient in Crossfire, right here and right here. This one is 3.2%, this is 4.4%. So it's not as strong as Crossfire. And Samari, the maximum that you mix is 2 ounces per gallon, where the Crossfire is 13 ounces in a gallon. So you're mixing this a lot stronger than you mix Samari. And the other ingredients, so metafluthrin, which is also in Crossfire, and pybronyl butoxide in Crossfire are not in Samari. So they are similar, but they are not the same. But Samari is quite a bit cheaper per volume than Crossfire, and I would recommend using this for your general pests and this for bed bugs. So I said all that. I went to all that trouble just for that one comment. So anyway, let's do full screen. So I am really, so I want to take a minute here. I'm reading down through some comments. If I don't get to your question right away, I'm sorry. I talk a lot. I try to answer every question I can. I really do. I really do. Because 10:44 p.m., 78 minutes into the video, answer to my problem. Awesome. So I try to get to people as fast as I can, but in the order in which they are received. So I talk a lot. I may not even be able to get to your question. I'm doing the best I can for free, you know. Now, you can pay for a private consultation with me if you have any questions. That's linked below in the description of the video. And you can actually book an appointment. You can call me. I will talk to you. I will take an hour out of my time, 45 minutes out of my time, whatever you pay for, and I will talk to you. But I prefer to do my live streams and try to answer as many questions as I can for free because I don't like charging people, but I have to charge for my time because I've got a beautiful wife. I've got 3 great children. I like to be able to spend time with my family. And so I said, well, if I can put forward this slot of time, I can talk to you, then I will. And so, but you got to pay for that. So I want to give you as much as I can for free. I try to answer as many of your questions as I can. I'm really sorry that I can't get to everybody's questions. I really am trying my best. So I want to apologize up front and explain that I am doing my best to talk to you. I really am. So I've been spraying my house all over with crossfire. Never saw a bed bug. Please tell me. Okay, can crossfire kill carpet beetles? I already answered that. Oh, Harris 5-minute bed bug killer will kill. That's the same thing as crossfire. So that actually does work on bed bugs. It's not as good as mixing it yourself because it's pre-mixed, but
even if the carpet beetles are dead, though, what I found that helped me, because I was still having this allergic reaction to them, was actually going through all my drawers, vacuuming them all out, and laundering all the clothes that had carpet beetles in them.
Right.
Because those
the hairs will still be there even if the carpet beetles are dead. And you will still react to the hair even though the carpet beetle is dead. So you do need to launder the clothes. If you find that you do have carpet beetles, you need to launder your clothes. That's really the only way to get the hair out of your clothes. And your bed sheets, comforters. All right. A lot of people don't wash their comforters. In fact, I think there's a Motel 6 down the road that hasn't washed their comforters since they opened. So comforters are not something people wash regularly, but the carpet beetle hair will be on them. And when you lay on them and you lay your arms on them and stuff, you'll get those fibers and you'll have breakout. So you need to wash your comforters too, because that's something that people don't really think a lot about. So.
But also, I don't know if she's ever had bed bugs, but me and my grandmother both had.
Can y'all hear her? I didn't know if y'all could hear her or not.
Itch, and I know a lot of people that have had bed bugs get phantom itch. So like if I've been out where there's a lot of mosquitoes and I get a bug bite, I will have phantom itch for weeks where I think I'm getting bit. And my grandma has the same exact problem. And other people I know that I've talked to that have had bed bugs experience phantom itch for a year or more.
Right.
So that it could be that too.
Yeah, phantom itch. That's true. So, oh, Jennifer did say you could submit a super chat, which is that does prioritize. So what happens with a super chat? I do prioritize super chats. If you send a super chat through to me, what it does is you basically donate like $1 or something like that. I think the least is $1. And it will put a big bold box around your question, and I see that right away. That like glares out to me, and I see that. I notice it. Like Ice Mask went and super chatted me $1 earlier. Didn't even ask a question. You can ask a question that way. Also, if you click down, if you look in the link in the description, there's a donate. Let me see, what is it? It's my Streamlabs. So I use OBS Streamlabs. That's what I use to stream to you. And so it will actually send me a notification. If you click that link and donate through there, it'll actually put a big box right on my face that'll say, that so-and-so donated. And then it'll ask me a question, and I can do that too. So just in case you're wondering, that's another way that you can get your question seen right away. If for some reason I have not seen it, I really am trying to see everything. I don't like people to have to donate. I went and I didn't know what to do a couple weeks ago. Everybody's sending me a whole bunch of money, and I don't even know how to react to it. I really don't. I don't know how to react to that. Like I said, I just don't know. I don't know. I've got a great audience. You guys are just fantastic, and I don't know. I feel like you're part of the family anyway. So. Should I launder with borax? Yeah, I would launder with borax. Borax is actually really good to launder with.
I think at the time I was using that Team Mule borax.
Oh, Jennifer just gave me a super chat like this. Happy Father's Day, $20.
Oh, that was very sweet.
Thank you, Jennifer. I appreciate it. You could have bought a shirt, though. You could have bought a shirt. And then walk around with my picture right there. My logo, anyway. You have to send me $20, but thank you very much. I'm confused. I don't know if I had bed bugs or beetles. I did one time shake out a beetle out of my sweater, so perhaps yeah, I think you've got carpet beetles. Do carpet beetles bite between 2 and 4 a.m.? Also, that's when I get bit. Okay, so if you're getting bit between 2 and 4 a.m., you have to understand the difference. So let's see if Google is going to be nice to us. Let's do carpet beetle bites. All right. So now remember, this is a Google image search. So let's take it with a grain of salt because it's Google. If we click this link right here, this picture. Now, that looks a lot like bedbug bites. See? It's clusters of bites. Clusters of bites. Carpet beetles don't bite. You have an allergic reaction to these little tiny hairs on their body. And it looks just like this. This is actually extremely similar. So I had a case that I went on. It's a case, make me sound like a CSI investigator or something. But I did a job for a person over in Lynchburg, Virginia, and her young son was getting blisters like this all over his back. And they did not have bed bugs. They had carpet beetles. He was reacting from the beetle larva on his arm. They don't actually bite you. It's the hair that they produce that you have an allergic reaction to. So when I was a kid, my mother used to tell me, never touch one of these. This is a woolly caterpillar. That you're not supposed to touch one of these because they have venom. These hairs on their body have a poison that is on the hair. It's on the tips of the hair. And that poison will actually make you break out in a rash just like I just showed you. That venom that's on those hairs. I had a woolly caterpillar get stuck in my sock one time where I was at my dad's house working on one of his computers, and one had crawled in under the door, crawled into my sock, did not know it was there, and it left these marks all over my ankles, and it looked just like those bites I just showed you. And it's very similar reaction to a carpet beetle. And so you got to understand that just because you get, what look like bite marks, it doesn't mean you're actually being bit. So it could just mean that you're reacting from the bites. I mean, not from the bites, but from the hair touching your skin.
And it's not always immediate either.
Yeah, and it's not always immediate. It can take a while. In fact, bedbug bites typically take hours, sometimes days to manifest. It could take up to 72 hours to she said the woolly caterpillar is so cute. Don't let Charlie kiss it. But bedbug bites could take up to 72 hours to manifest. Even though you were bit, in 2 and 4 in the morning, you may not even have the bite show up for days. So, can a bedbug live in your ear? Maybe. I don't know why it would want to. Because bedbugs don't like... Now, cockroaches will live in your ear. But bedbugs, I don't think they would really like to live in your ear. They don't like to live on living creatures. They live near living creatures, but not on them. So it's not very likely for them to live inside your ear. I don't think that's even... I mean, I'd have to look into it and see if it's ever happened. I'm sure it's happened to somebody before, but it's not a very likely thing to happen. They usually live on your furniture. I've been here for an hour and a half. Still going strong. Does anybody want me to turn off the live stream? Because I noticed things are trying to die down a little bit. I've got 18 viewers. I haven't had a whole lot of people tonight. Maybe about 20, I think, was my max tonight. But if you guys want to ask any more questions, get them in right now, because I'm actually thinking of closing the stream down. I've been kind of really talking a lot tonight. Didn't realize it had been an hour and a half. So... Hope everybody learned something tonight. If I was able to teach anybody anything, I'm trying to look over my list here and see if there's anything else I need to remind anybody to do. I don't think so.
Well, as a sign off, let's say everyone, it's vacation season.
It's vacation season.
You go away on vacation, you have a mess, you end up with bed bugs, and you come in contact with them. When you come home, what is your recommendation that you do when you come home to keep them from infesting?
So you went to a hotel or a VRBO or Airbnb
Or a family's house.
And you've been in contact with bed bugs. What do you do when you come home and you bring your luggage home? So you may not have bed bugs on your luggage. Don't assume you do, because you may not. But treat your house like you did. Treat your house with crossfire. Do a total bed bug treatment on the house. Treat all your baseboards. Treat your... Actually, I'll tell you what you should do. If you're thinking of going out of town, you're going on vacation. I go over this in my latest video too, which was just Tuesday. Treat your luggage bags with crossfire so that they are treated. Treat your trunk of your car. Be proactive. But if you've already come home from vacation and it's too late for that, treat your baseboards. Treat your mattress, box spring, headboard, footboard, bed rails, lazy boy recliners, sofas, sofa, whatever, everything. Futons, all that stuff. And especially your bed legs, the legs to your couch. Because if you don't have bed bugs on your furniture yet, then you want to close down the super highway they're going to use to get into your bed. You know, the highway they use are the bed legs. The highway they use are your couch legs. You know, these are the places they're going to crawl up first. So you want to make sure you hit those places first. So I do prevention for bed bugs. I actually do this type of service. I'm one of the few exterminators in Virginia that offer locally. I can't afford to do this, long distance over the whole state. But I provide a bed bug warranty, so to speak. I mean, that's the only other name I know to call it. But if I eliminate a bed bug infestation in a house, I actually offer a service where I will come out and I will treat the house every single month to prevent bed bugs from reinfesting homes. Because there are certain people that are at high risk. People that work in healthcare, people that work as a bus driver, public transit, period. If you work in public transit, you're at high risk. If you do an Uber, if you're a cab driver, these are people that are in constant interactions with people all day long, all the time, especially healthcare workers, hospice workers that are going in and out of homes. These are the people that are high risk. And so I offer this as a service with my regular business where I will come in, I eliminate the bed bug infestation, and then I offer a type of a warranty service where I actually come in every single month and I treat the house as if it had bed bugs or as if it might get bed bugs. So you don't have to tear the beds apart. You don't always have to do that to get rid of bed bugs. You can treat, if the house doesn't have bed bugs, you could do a preventative service. You could treat the baseboards. You could treat the bed rails. You can treat the box springs. And if the bugs crawl up the bed, they can't live in the house. You bring your luggage in, you sit it down, where are the bed bugs going to go? They have to crawl up the bed to get to you. So if you preventatively treat these areas, the bed bugs die before they get established. So you don't worry about having to spend thousands of dollars on an exterminator to come in and eliminate your bed bug problem. You just do a preventative service, which is a lot cheaper because you don't actually have to do the back-breaking labor of tearing apart every single piece of furniture every single time you come in the house. It's a very mild type of a treatment, so it's a lot cheaper. You're not having to pay somebody to tear everything apart. So that's what I recommend doing. That's what I think everyone should do, is preventative pest control.
A couple things too, like leave your luggage in the car until you're able to bring it in and launder it immediately.
Yeah, well, yeah, I mean, you can do that. Or
I'm OCD, though.
Yeah, you're more OCD than most people. I treated a year ago for bed bugs with crossfire in every room of the house. Every bed covered all. Yeah, that's how you're supposed to do it. That's how you're supposed to treat with crossfire. About springtails again, what do you recommend to use indoors for a 2-family home for them? I've used Onslaught and windowsill baseboard crevices. So springtails, there are very few chemicals for springtails. And the reason this is because springtails are, I mean, they're pretty easily to kill with just general pest control. Like, I posted a general pest control video, but the springtail video, I actually have the chemicals listed there. But the thing about springtails is most of the time, if you have a springtail problem, it's because you have a moisture problem. Because springtails feed on mildew and mold, fungus. Those are the things they like to eat. So unless you just had the yards, freshly sodded, then you shouldn't have a reason for springtails being inside your home unless you have maybe a leaky roof, maybe you have a leaky windowsill, a sliding glass door. Places like this are places that moisture problems are an issue. So maybe a chimney that you might get a leak every now and then if it gets a really bad rainstorm. A deck that butts up against the house. A lot of times they will get a little bit of wood rot, but not a lot, but enough to attract springtails. So look for areas like this and try to remedy that problem, and the springtails will die off because they feed on mold and mildew. If you eliminate the mold and mildew, you eliminate the springtail problem. Maybe you have a bathroom that doesn't ventilate well, and so every time you take a hot shower, maybe you start to get a little bit of a mildew buildup in the bathroom. These are things that will attract springtails. So you want to eliminate those problems, the springtails will disappear. But as far as pesticides, there are a few that are labeled for use. I don't typically recommend anything that is dangerous for children and pets as long as you follow the label. You need to follow the label, like show you. See? The label is the law. See? The label is the law. You have to follow the label. The reason you want to follow the label is because that's how you keep yourself and your children and your pets safe. So as long as you follow the label, you're not going to harm yourself. This whole belief that chemicals are toxic, that they are life-threateningly toxic, is just false. It's not true. If you follow the label and you don't break the label, you're not going to poison anybody. You're not going to poison yourself. Yes, it is poison. It is chemical. It is toxic. But it's toxic on a much smaller scale than what would be toxic enough to hurt you. Bugs are small. Springtails, they're smaller than fleas. They're super small. And so if you've got a problem with springtails or fleas or spiders, it's going to take a lot less of a concentrated chemical to kill one of those than it will you. You're much larger. It's going to take much more pesticide to kill a person. You practically have to bathe in it to hurt yourself. Yeah, I got to change some windows. I've seen some mold there. Yes, so they're probably living in around the mold inside the windowsill. Springtails do not bite. Dee Dee just asked if springtails bite. They don't. And Amigo Acid Cold in NAC works wonders for phantom itch. It calms down the nervous system that is on overdrive due to the bedbug bites. It was a lifesaver for me. So for anybody that's interested, check out that post that was just done in chat. I'm not exactly sure what it is. You'd have to look into it. I'm not sure what that is.
I know what NAC is. Isn't that the one that they're trying to crack down on?
NAC? I don't know.
It's an amino acid supplement.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I think the federal government's cracking down on that one. I've heard a lot of buzz about that and how great it is.
Oh, well, my wife has heard about it. I haven't.
I didn't know you could use it for phantom itch because when I get bit by a mosquito, I will think I'm getting bit for like a couple weeks.
Oh, man, when I went to Chickateague Island, oh, man. Oh, that was so bad.
Oh, it's miserable.
If you want to donate blood to a non-worthy cause, go to Chickateague Island right now. Right now. Just go there right now and camp. And you'll hate me for doing it, but it's a horrible thing to do. I just hate that I cannot kill one springtail because they jump away so fast. Yeah, but you could spray. You could spray and they'll die. You could treat and they'll die. In the cracks and stuff around your windows where you know they're going to be drawn to, you can treat those areas and they'll die in those areas. So most pesticides have a residue. There are very few pesticides that don't have a residue. And some residues last longer than others. Most of the pesticides I recommend last 30 to 90 days. Crossfire lasts 30 days. Alpine WSG lasts 60 days. Demon Max lasts 90 days. Sumari, the one I just showed you, that lasts 90 days. So these pesticides will continue to kill bugs for 90 days after they're applied. So anyway, you can continue to kill bugs. Even though it's dry, it will continue to kill bugs. Susan says, but I found them again 2 months ago in one bedroom, and it was bad. I retreated the whole house again. Can you tell me what caused that to happen? I had no visitors. I've been home since COVID in one bedroom. So if you're not using the bedroom that was infested with bed bugs, and it was over a year ago that you treated, bed bugs can live dormant for 18 months without a blood meal. It's very possible that because no one was in the room, the bed bugs were just kind of hanging out in there. That's a possibility. That does happen. You need to use the rooms. So it's not just important enough to treat every room in the house. It's also important to use the rooms that people have used before that had the bed bugs in them. And you don't want to try to avoid the bed bugs because they need to be drawn out to be killed in the crossfire. They need to actually be drawn out. So the way they're drawn out is so if you've ever seen those old Bugs Bunny cartoons where Elmer Fudd has got the carrot under the box and he's trying to catch Bugs Bunny, and the carrot's there, so you're the carrot. All right? And I will be honest, bed bugs are really stupid compared to Bugs Bunny. And so they're going to come out, they're going to get in the trap. They're going to go for the carrot. They're going to bite the carrot, though. They're going to get to bite you. They're going to do that. But then when they retreat back away, they crawl back through the chemical again, a second time, and they die. So they're actually exposed to it twice. They're exposed to it once when they crawl to you and once when they crawl away. So, but if the room was being used, so she says the room was being used, then it's not that the bed bugs should have been eliminated because it's been over a year since you had this problem and then you just noticed it again 2 months ago, then the bed bugs have been reintroduced to the house. So there are lots of ways people were bringing bed bugs into their home. I actually had an uptick in bed bug work, even though people weren't going on vacation, people weren't going to see friends and family and relatives. But they were getting bed bugs. How do you get bed bugs during a pandemic? Okay? One thing that they have done that hasn't really been done before is home delivery of everything. Not just mail, but everything. Groceries, McDonald's, Chick-fil-A, better than McDonald's. Everything has been being delivered to your house in someone's car. Not in a mail truck, but someone else's car. The same car that is holding a person's clothing. Oh. Sorry, that's my phone. But the thing is that people's cars have bugs in them, especially in the trunk where they sit get a Whole Foods delivery, get a Kroger delivery, get a Target home delivery. All these places, home delivery. They're putting your bags in their trunk and they're bringing those bags into your home. Or they're sitting them on your porch and you're bringing them into your home. The point is that, so I had a customer I was treating his house for 4 straight months for bed bugs. It's the only person, I think it's the only person, in over 22 years that I've ever treated 4 times for bed bugs. And we found them in the trunk of his car because we didn't know. So what was happening is I killed him on the bed first. He never had another bed bug on his bed after the very first treatment. But he was seeing them on his table in his dining room. They were on his not his nightstand. What is it? The coffee table in the living room. They were on his counter in his kitchen, on the floor in his kitchen. The bed bugs were in rooms they should not have been in. And the reason they were is because every time he would go to the store, he would go to Harris Teeter, he'd get groceries. He'd go to Target, he'd get, whatever. And he'd bring those bags in. They were actually in the trunk of the car because he had helped a friend move from one apartment to another. He infested the trunk of his car, and every single time he would go somewhere, he would bring a stray bed bug into the house. And we figured that out, finally. Thank goodness we figured out they were coming from the trunk. I treated the trunk of the car, took care of his problem. Never had any more bed bugs. So it's very likely that people are actually bringing in bed bugs from these home delivery services that have just blown up in the last, 365 days. It has been absolutely insane at what you can order that is brought right to your home. You don't ever have to leave the home. It's brought from, I can get an Aldi delivery. I can get, places you can get a dollar store. You can get stuff delivered to your house from the dollar store. It's crazy the place they've got this service. It's available. People can't leave their house. We will leave for you. We will bring the stuff to your house. And now you got bed bugs. Or roaches. Roaches or bed bugs. That's two different things you can get from home. Fleas. Who knows whose dog has been in their car. And then they put your bags in the back seat, bring the bags into your house. So there's lots of things you can get bug-wise from home delivery. Not trying to make you paranoid. It's just happened this year. So I am going to head to bed on that. I think that's a good note to leave on. And so if you haven't already, give me a thumbs up on the video. Subscribe to the channel so you can catch other videos like this one. Live streams every Thursday night, typically after 9 o'clock, after the kids go to bed. So you guys have a real great night. I really appreciate it. And thanks, everybody, for coming in. Thanks again to all the donations tonight. I really appreciate it. You guys really don't have to do that, but it's really nice. You guys are great. I really appreciate it. And y'all have a good night.